Welcome to A Mason's Work, the podcast where we review Masonic symbols and illustrate how they can be used to solve problems in everyday life. With your host, Brian Mattox, a proud member of the Craftsman Online Media Network.
The people that can leverage the principle of correspondence the most are effectively the people that can create the largest amount of change in the world. When you understand this, when you know how this works, you can do more than someone who doesn't. So, we talk about the idea of correspondence, or as above, so below, and we look across all of the systems in the world, the physical world, the social world, the emotional world, your conscious experience, your present moment awareness. When you scale this up and down, you're going to see that there are patterns, that unmet needs, don't go away typically. When we interact with each other, people have a hard time perhaps looking past their own cognitive blocks. When you try and look again at the sort of celestial level versus the atomic level, there's a ton of sort of consistency in the way these systems behave. We use physics to define what that looks like. But this principle of correspondence is embedded in the entirety of the experience, again, at whatever level of truth you want to give it. What this allows you to do, though, more important than whether or not any one function is at the level of clarity it needs to be, is at a sort of broad strokes perspective, it allows you to intentionally align whatever your objectives are to a truth about the way the world works. If you can do this in a meaningful way, you essentially set it up for the things that you're trying to do to not sort of fight City Hall, if you will. We're not trying to defy the laws of physics. We're not trying to change the entire social order so you can get your needs met. If you can align your objectives to these fundamental truths about the way the world operates, you're going to get a lot more. You're going to be able to do a lot more with a lot less energy and a lot less effort. And that does not mean zero effort. It doesn't mean casting your wishes and desires into some sort of ethereal void and expecting them to just show up 10 minutes later. This isn't mysticism. This is reality. You cannot put a bowling ball at the top of the hill and expect it not to roll down the hill eventually, right? This is just a fundamental understanding that the world works in these systems, and as you are creating your desired world around you, conformity to those systems is a lot more useful than trying to break the rules. That's not to say you can't break the rules. That's not to say you can't change the system. But all of those things require a ton more discretionary effort, and more often than not become essentially outrageously difficult, if not nearly impossible to try and do. So use this sort of level of correspondence, this understanding of correspondence as a concept to illuminate the kinds of work that you're trying to do. So if you're trying to, drive community engagement, it doesn't make sense to run around and wag your finger at everyone in the community and say you should do this. That's not worked for generations. It won't start working now. If it did work that way, everyone would be doing it. So what does work when you're trying to find behaviors that solve problems? You would go and you engage in a different way. This understanding is absolutely critical to help you regain a sense of agency and help inspire the optimism and hope that should sit within you as you try and change the world around you for yours and everyone else's benefit. When you are able to work in accordance with these precepts or these concepts that you're going to surface through just, easy introspection, you should be able to start to structure your life in a way that mirrors the natural world around you and helps you create the outcomes that you're looking for.
The views represented in this podcast are those of the speaker alone and are not representative of any grand or subordinate lodge.
Hi, Brian here. I wanted to thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you have any suggestions or guidance for further episodes you'd like to see or hear, whatever the case may be, please don't hesitate to reach out to me at masonswork.com, and we will try and incorporate your suggestions into a future recording. Thanks.
Freemasonry teaches us that the true work is within, a lifelong journey of reflection, discipline, and discovery. At A Mason's Work, we help Masons bring out their best selves through meaningful self-inquiry and symbolic practice. From personal reflection to lodge engagement, we offer tools that turn symbols into action. Visit us at amasonswork.com. The work is within. The time is now.